I'm Bradley.
I'm Jordan.
And I'm me.
And this is Joe Rogan's podcast.
We are officially an alt-right podcast.
Except we don't smoke Fat J's in the studio because of our lease agreement.
And actually, this is Overarching.
Fooled
Sorry.
you, April Fools!
July
8th.
8th, fools.
This is Overarching, a podcast about, for, by, because of, in a warrant of St. Louis.
In perpetuity.
In perpetuity, forever and ever, amen.
And I'm Bradley.
Overarching is sponsored by First Bank. The First Bank.
Yep. There's the one. It's just one. But there's a lot.
But they're the
But
first.
it's one. There's a lot of First Banks. There's a lot of First Banks. But it's one First Bank.
Yeah. On the seventh day, God created man.
On the 8th
No,
day.
sorry, on the seventh day he rested. When did he create man?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh,
On
really?
on the 8th day, he came up with the idea for John Charlton and did not bring him to the world till like 1980 or whatever it is.
Yeah, John Charlton. Yeah.
Or like it was like 1978. Sorry to give your age away there, John, or whatever your age is.
Well, John Charlton was obviously an early iteration of. He knew he wanted the initials to be JC.
Yes.
You know, he was talking with.
He had an idea for a guy with the initials JC. Ended up being John Charlton, the greatest lender over at First Bank. And
then there was that other guy.
was like, maybe I can go in a different direction. And then Jesus came about, and then like almost 2,000 years later, he's like, it's time.
It's time for John Charlton.
It's time for
and
John
First
Charlton.
Bank.
Yeah. So if you
This guy's gonna sling mortgages.
That's right. That's right. If you're thinking about mortgage money for house stuff, John Charlton's your guy, and we'll talk more about that later.
Yeah.
That is on the Bible. You know, St. Louis things.
We are. Yeah.
They don't really tell you what God did the second week.
No.
I mean,
It's
not
pretty.
specifically.
It's pretty fair to assume that the whole Adam and Eve thing followed shortly after, if it did happen, which is
So he was hanging
Which
out.
who's to say?
up to interpretation.
Except
Who's
for
to say?
you know, all the
Scholars?
scientific evidence. Yeah.
Scholars?
Yeah.
No one was there. I mean, people were there. Someone was
people.
there. We weren't there.
They say that
There was one.
that
and then there was two.
mitochondrial Eve, which is like the woman that all women are related to way back.
Yeah.
And that, what is it? Which chromosomes do we have? X or Y?
We have X and Y.
Right. That Y chromosomal Adam, which is the man that we're all related to, didn't live at the same time, most likely, because that would be crazy.
Yeah.
But like, I hope they did, and I hope they kissed.
That'd be nice.
That'd be a sweet love story. That'd be the love story to begin all love stories.
Sure. Hallman and Coda should write that.
Yeah, they already did. It's East Nation.
Yep.
Let's say the pledge.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
I pledge allegiance to Gregory FX Daly, the one to whom we owe it all, and to our taxes, which we'd prefer to be spent on more state takeovers. Did you hear the news? The state of Missouri took control of the St. Louis City Police Department. That's crazy. Now, some might see that as completely disregarding the will of city voters. Others might see that as completely disregarding the will of city voters twice. But us? No way. We're choosing to see it for what it really is. Socialism! That's right, baby! Missouri is the most progressive state in the Union. Is Governor Mike Kehoe just Zoran Mamdani in an ill-fitting full-body skin suit? Color me convinced of that! I wonder what public service the state is going to take over next. Health care for all city residents? Fully state-subsidized public schools instead of the paltry 31% that they do now? Better buses? More trains? The state could even fix the potholes! What joy! What rapture! We've finally arrived! The progressive agenda has prevailed, and a better life awaits us all just beyond the... What's that? Oh. 1% to the god of yellow envelopes ignored by all. Ah.
Good pause.
Hey, yeah.
Good pause. Good stretch.
Yeah.
Good stretch. Big yawn.
Are
Big,
we?
you see baby? You see baby? Oh, big yawn.
No, I have a dog.
Oh.
You have two.
You do
I
have
do.
Don't. Which one did you forget, Colin?
I'll
I don't
never
say,
tell.
I don't say "oh, big yawn" to dogs.
I don't say a big yawn. I go big yawn.
That's what you say that to babies. Do people say that to their
Babies?
puppies as well?
To their fur babies.
To their fur babies, David?
That's what you call
man.
the child of two furries.
It's the left agenda, dude. That's what
Yeah, people say it. I know you've never owned an animal because
I feel like actually no, that is quite a bipartisan thing.
Who can own?
yeah,
the
you know what?
wind? Who can own the grass and the fields?
Are you trying to
All right,
write
calm
a
down,
freak-
Alan Menken.
Are you trying to write a musical right now, Bradley?
Alan Menken already wrote that one.
Yeah.
Actually, Stephen Schwartz already wrote those lyrics.
Sure.
I think you're onto something, and I think hot take. We're just gonna say it. We're gonna say it, and we're gonna be the first.
On the count of three.
We're gonna say it.
Why? What are we saying?
Republicans
Yeah.
and right wingers
Yeah.
and all the people who hate trains and all the people who they all hate their dogs. They all don't like dogs.
They all hate their dogs?
They don't own dogs. They just hate dogs. They're not dog people. Could you imagine
What has this show devolved
Could you
into?
imagine Donald Trump with a dog?
This show is about St. Louis.
Could you imagine Donald Trump in St. Louis with a dog?
Yeah, actually, yes, I could.
What kind of dog, David?
I don't. One that.
Could you imagine holding a dog and being like,
he's
"Yeah,
got
I
a
like this."
Pomeranian on his head.
No, he doesn't. Don't speak ill of Pomeranians like that. That man.
I have not met a Pomeranian that I like. To be fair. To be fair, yeah, I said it. Oh, good controversy.
Yeah.
I wish
as per my previous statement, watch out for this.
I
one.
wish Jack Black in Anchorman punted a Pomeranian instead of Baxter, whatever Baxter is,
That's a wild take.
because it probably would have made a fun noise.
Who's a St. Louis Republican?
A St. Louis Republican.
Andrew
There-
Jones
there's a
and
lot
only
of 'em.
Andrew Jones.
There's a lot of them. The lady that owns Carhartt,
She's here. Is Carhartt a
not
St. Louis
Carhartt,
company?
Cargill. Good Lord.
Oh.
Norman.
Oh,
I'm sorry. It's
you mean
Cargill.
the person who runs a giant pharmaceutical company is a right winger?
She's like the wealthiest person in St. Louis. Maybe I think Dave Stewart might have surpassed them.
Hot. Cool.
Dave Stewart's hot.
You know what? Yeah.
Worldwide technology fame, Dave Stewart.
Ah.
Yeah, not to be confused with Dave Thomas.
Is that Wendy's?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do they just name it Dave's? What is this show? What are
Do we want to?
What's that behind you?
What do we want to get straight into? Because we've already made overtures to a couple different things that we could segue into.
Well, I have the show planned out on the thing in front of you,
Oh,
so we're gonna
sure.
follow that because that's how we do this.
This is
a little
my-
peek behind the curtain, but they gave us a soccer jersey.
My fault for not picking this up earlier. City Soccer Club.
Yeah.
David just walked in with this like nonchalant and was like, "Look," and it's like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. How kind of them.
I think
I think they got jealous of the Blues.
Here's the thing: the way the season is going. No, it's not true. The way the season's going for City, which like worst team in the league, pretty fair to say that.
I think it's time to come clean.
It's time to come clean.
They actually we're all on the team now.
We are.
They hired us. They put us on. The team is so bad that they were like, you know what?
Let's put Colin in net.
Yeah, 5'7" Colin
Yeah.
Healy in net. We all just have to wear the jersey at the same time.
well,
That's
no,
the
actually,
thing.
that's not what it is. The real thing is, if they found a loophole, is that if it's the same jersey, they can swap out people without having to do substitutions. So like, let's we can just hire a podcast of 3 people, and then we can sub them out as much as we want without having to do an actual substitution because they're wearing the same jersey.
No, I think they have special rings that came with this that when the 3 of us touch them together, we fuse together
Okay.
and become like
Overarching Tron.
Overarching Tron, Captain Overarching. Did the Captain Planet people fuse together?
No.
Oh, they just like
That's why we're mixing. We're mixing references, baby.
We get our.
They had the
like,
rings, though.
We get our own like robotic creature, and then we like stack together into a greater form like Power Rangers.
What would be our strength? What would be our strengths if we all fused together and became a soccer player? Like,
Would be our I was a goalkeeper.
oh, I didn't know
Did
that.
you know that?
I knew that you are a formerly wanting to go D1 athlete.
As a 33-year-old still thinks he can be a D1 athlete. That's what I am.
Yeah, we all saw the.
All right,
we all saw the
so
baseball
one,
across
so
intersection
delusions of
video.
grandeur is one of our powers.
Yeah, delusions of
Just
grandeur.
Straight up talent out the wazoo. This kid's good. This
Delusions-
kid's got
so
talent.
David's power is delusions of grandeur.
Correct. I was a catcher in high school for 2 years.
So are we all just like good backstops? Is that what we are? Are we just people just beat up on us?
am short.
You could sneak through.
My
Bradley has like the quickest wit. He's just got quick wit.
yeah, Bradley's got a brain,
Okay.
so that's good.
Yeah.
David has courage, and I got a lot of heart.
I've got power. My left foot's very strong. I've got a good left foot.
So we're the Tin Straw Lion Man.
I think her name is Dorothy.
Wait, or you're saying that the Tin Man, the Cowardly Lion, and the Scarecrow are all parts of Dorothy's psyche?
Yeah, because it was a dream, and also,
You're saying that
and
people
for-
in my dream are me?
and for the purposes of this bit,
I can't deal with that.
And for-
People in my dream, but sometimes, it's not interesting to talk about your dreams. Go continue. I won't.
For the
divulge
purposes
that.
of
Did
this
you just
bit-
say go ahead and tin you?
I said,
Can we say tin you from now on? Get rid of the con. Tin you.
it feels like
Tin you.
I think
that's kind.
it feels it feels not good.
Really?
For the purposes of this bit, the Wizard
Why
of
does
Oz
it not
takes
feel
place in St. Louis. It's categorically a dream
Okay.
because there are parts of her dream that she's not
I'm
in.
not disagreeing that it's a dream. My whole worldview is shattered by the idea that the people in my dreams are me.
Yeah, they are, and that's what I'm saying. The people in your dreams are you because they're created entirely by you, which
Don't
is
your
why
dreams be
like
dreams.
like these people who are like her style falling in love with their AI things, like it's you. You made it that way because you talked to it, and it's you. It's a copy of you regurgitating a facsimile back at you of somebody else.
So you're saying that owners of sex bots are narcissists.
Yunya says that no one in the world is real except for Bradley.
That's a weird externalization of that very narcissistic philosophy that I'm the only person that exists and everybody else is I forgot what it's called.
And I never said
not
that.
smart.
Unless this is a dream, which means that you are me, which means I did say that.
But are there scenes in your dream that A, you are not in, and B, do not know the information that is being conveyed?
Well, how could I not know the information being conveyed if it's my dream?
Exactly. So Wizard of Oz, which takes place in St. Louis, is a dream because Dorothy gets tricked. How could she possibly get tricked if it was her dream?
Wait, so are you saying it's not her dream?
I'm saying it's real. In the
I thought you said that Wizard of Oz was a dream.
I don't know what I said. Wizard of Oz is categorically not a dream because Dorothy gets tricked in the plot, which she could not do if it was a dream.
Bring it home. Bring it home.
So the jersey.
And the Emerald City
No, Colin's making a point here.
is an arch. You just didn't look at it right.
Oh, okay.
Downtown St. Louis.
Interesting.
It's
Downtown St. Louis, an emerald in the rough.
We're not in the rough.
An emerald in
the fairway.
An emerald in mostly surface level parking lots.
There it is.
So, anyways, my thought on the jersey, first of all, as the season has gone along, a lot of people at the beginning of this season when they released this kit, not fans, And I was one of the ones that I was like, I think this is going to grow on me as the season goes along. And
What's so different about it?
the half collar, and also just the simplicity of it.
Man,
Comparatively,
you people like to complain.
comparatively,
like
I
you
didn't say
people.
this.
Like
I think this is top tier kit. I think this is a top tier kit. I really do.
Who was out there complaining about it?
So many people at the beginning of this season hated the kit.
As we've established on this show, change is bad.
That is true.
Yes,
I forgot about
We have
that.
established this.
Change is bad, even if it's so minute that had they not announced it and just come out with this on day
Yeah.
one, I think people wouldn't have noticed.
Do you think if
But
we
but this change affects me personally because I have to occasionally look at it.
now you have to see a grown man getting paid lots of money wear a collar
A
to
half
play a
collar.
sport.
So you really should only be half offended by it.
Maybe. Yeah. How do you feel about collars, David?
collars
Yeah.
on jerseys,
Yeah, are you offended by them?
love them.
Yeah, but what purpose
right
do they
setting.
serve?
In the right setting, I love them.
How
What's
do they-
the wrong setting?
It's,
A hockey
it's like-
sweater.
Why?
I think it can't be like overly colorful. I like a white collared home jersey.
David likes white collar. White
Yes.
collar
That
work.
show's really good.
I also like blue collar, just so I don't get in trouble. The half collar, what?
no,
White collar?
but which collars don't you like? Which color?
Yeah, which
collars,
colors of collars?
Which colors
don't
of
you like?
collar?
Like, here's the thing. It can't be like too many colors on the same jersey is what I'm saying.
Too many colors together?
Homophobia.
Yeah, separation of
Who are you cocking that for, Unia?
what the heck? I didn't do nothing. I feel like you guys are so like
Unia's got a gun.
Maybe this
A Nerf gun.
maybe this podcast has gone a little off the rails. Maybe
No.
I am becoming a little bit more like central on these things because I think y'all cucks are soft.
Don't talk about my cuck like that.
Yeah. Okay, stop being
Makes such a
soft.
good sound.
Honestly, that hit pretty soft.
Yeah.
At
We got
the
a
time-
jersey- we got a jersey with
softly.
a name on it. That's pretty
It's an
cool.
adverb.
Moving on.
Jersey,
Softly is an adverb. LY.
MLS, not MLS. Well, I guess MLS technically, but the St. Louis City gave us a jersey, a custom jersey that we didn't pay for, right? We didn't go get this made.
Oh no, they made it for us.
That's so cool.
They made it for us.
And 18 because this show was founded in 2018 in the before times, referencing your ex, guys. Wait, I'm not jealous. I wasn't on the show then.
When Bradley and I were just an item,
Yeah.
and not the three of us, we weren't.
Yeah. I'm
Poly
gonna
or
yeah,
whatever it is.
I'm the tryst you guys just couldn't quit.
No, we can
I'm
do
the-
without you every once in a while.
I'm the hudda of this show. Coming in here shaking my butt for you guys.
I don't know what you just said.
It's a Love Island thing. I'm actually also not sure what just said. I've been on Love Island TikTok, but only a little bit. So
I know that Love Island is popular right now, but
I only know a
don't
little
know.
bit.
is that hosted by Nikki Glazer?
It might be.
I've heard that she hosted one of them,
I do not know.
one of the shows.
Way to bring it back to St. Louis. It might be relevant to St. Louis.
I'm pretty sure both of her St. Louis shows are sold out now, or like very close to being sold out
That's cool.
to finish her tour.
At the time of recording,
Yeah, a tour.
horses. Nay.
That was a good one.
That was pretty good.
Thank you.
St. Louis native, an award-winning rapper. Fill in the blank.
Nelly, of course.
No. Award-winning rapper Smino.
Bradley was right. It was Nelly.
Dang it.
Hey.
Has purchased a large stake in a horse racing team
Oh, I thought at the
after acquiring the
Outback.
Seattle franchise of the National Thoroughbred League, and he's bringing it to St. Louis.
Hold on.
Sorry, wait. Lots of things.
Seattle had a thoroughbred franchise.
Let's even back up farther.
They had a team.
The National Thoroughbred League
Is a thing.
is a thing.
What do they do?
Is it horse racing?
Horse racing.
I thought
But it's a
thoroughbreds were
league?
for hauling carts of beer.
Is this like
That's Clydesdale.
it's a team of horses?
I was confused.
Yeah.
Or is it like chariot racing?
No. It's variably small men in funny little caps.
Yes, Secretariat.
Getting on a big horse. Big horse.
Thoroughbreds.
Thoroughbred, in fact. A stallion, if you
A
will.
bread that is thoroughly cooked.
Yeah, it's Henry David's children.
That's called whole grain.
Sorry, that's thoroughbred.
Whole wheat.
The it's
Man,
it's
the
it's
jokes per minute people are getting out of this episode. What value?
it's leavened
It's
yeast.
free, Bradley.
It's really well thought out leavened yeast and wheat. Sorry, that's thoroughbred.
That's the joke we made.
I didn't hear it. You didn't say it loud enough.
Yours was just more.
The National
yours was
Thoroughbred
more
League,
thorough.
Horse Racing League, not bred, not Henry David. It's horses, and Nelly bought a team.
Okay, so on Sirius,
What's the team name?
On Sirius, like I didn't know, like I didn't think that horse racing had leagues. I thought like there's just like I knew there was like the circuit, like there's like some relation between like the Triple Crown and stuff, but it's like you just like a place does a race and you put your horse in it, kind of like.
I believe that's true.
Will they run at Fairmount?
Like
Will they do the racing at Fairmount, or is it like
at Fairmount Park?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So-
So it's
But, like, I think
it's
that
not a barnstorming league like the Savannah Bananas or like the UFL where they just come into town and play.
right. It's actually a
This is stay.
team based.
Oh, I could get behind this.
Yeah, and it's like
I can't get behind the Battlehawks because it's owned by somebody.
Correct.
out of
It's all the
Dallas.
same team, just
Sure.
different flavors.
Yeah.
I think you are correct that horse racing, as we traditionally think about it,
You got like a rich dude says I like horses and like spends
And, like,
money on
has a
having
stable,
having
yeah.
a horse or a couple and brings them around in the trucks and says, "Hey,
I think I
racetrack,
could
we're gonna
get
race with
behind
money."
yeah, but now it's just that, except all the horses in the stable are part of the same end
Okay.
goal.
One, I have two parts.
Part one.
One, what's our team name? Two, who are our star players?
Gotcha. Okay. Don't know the answer to the second one,
Dang
but
it.
I will.
I
I
wanna
will
know our star
look
players.
into it. But
'Cause they
number-
gotta have some good
Part
names.
one, I want you guys to guess because
The team name?
yes, it is. Good. It's potentially funny. The only clue I'll give you, at least at first, is that it is
Is it horse related?
horse related, and it's both punny and good and bad at the same time.
Okay.
And I will say that this follows the National Thoroughbred League does follow the traditional sports naming convention of the city objects. So the Seattle Horsehawks.
Yeah.
The Oklahoma City, like I don't know, tails.
So this will be the San Luis Spurs.
Yes, the St. Louis whatevers. What do you think it is?
The Spurs.
That's wrong. What is it? It's more creative than that, but also less creative than that.
I'm really having a hard time with this.
Think about horse stuff. What do you say?
Saddles.
What do you say when you
Don't look a gift horse in the teeth.
No.
Grill.
Cowboy hats.
No. When you are riding a horse,
Giddy up.
what are some things you say?
Whoa.
Giddy up. Whoa, what?
Whoa, Nelly.
Don't tell me it's the
The
Wonellies.
St. Louis Nellies in relation to Whoa Nelly.
Why aren't they just the St. Louis Whoa Nellies?
I think they're more serious.
Well,
than
aren't
that.
you? Wait, Nelly.
But then it just sounds like you're naming it after like, and here we are. I've got a group of I recently purchased a PDGA team, and they're called the St. Louis Bradleys,
What's the PDGA?
Professional Disc Golf Association.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I knew that.
yeah. Come on.
The St. Louis Bradley. I mean, they could be named after.
What if I brought the team to Peoria, Illinois, and they were a collegiate team to be the
That would-
Bradleys?
The Bradleys. Well, why not? But yeah, the St. Louis Nellies.
Okay, so
they'll
what's-
debut. We'll find out more about it Saturday, July 19th, because they are going to be competing at the first ever, and I just read this because I didn't read this ahead of time, the first ever National Thoroughbred League Nelly Cup.
It's called the Nelly Cup?
Well, apparently this race
So
is.
hold on. The league has probably had very little notoriety. Nelly gets involved, and they're like, literally just name everything whatever you want.
Sure.
Is that what's happening right now?
I guess.
The St. Louis Nellies. Why? I feel like the St. Louis Woe Nellies is better.
It is.
Why can't we name them the St. Louis Woe Nellies?
I don't know.
Also,
Your guess
Whoa
is as good
Nelly
as
is
mine.
something you say to make a horse slow down. We want the horse to go fast.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah, horse go fast.
What?
Sure hope it does.
Also, the other team names suck. So there's that. Ours. So St. Louis.
What other teams are there? What other celebrities own horse teams?
Oh my God! I'm reading about the event on the 19th.
So the other sports teams. It looks like we've been,
Jerobi White is going to be.
Yeah, the Tribe Called Quest.
What?
Yeah. It's going to be, and it's free, and you don't need a ticket. You can
a
just show up.
Nelly-inspired fashion show.
What does that mean?
I don't understand.
Like wearing a
The
Cardinals
trophy
jersey with your chest
presentation
showing?
from Nelly.
Do you wear Cardinals jersey with your chest showing?
Yeah, everyone.
Or I guess he didn't wear a Cardinals jersey with his chest showing. He had the little A shirt on underneath. The little. I don't like to.
Oh
like to
my
call it
goodness! Did you scroll down to the uniforms?
Are there uniforms for the
The
horses?
that. For the horses?
They're wearing. It's like the U.S. Olympic swim team.
No.
For a horse.
It isn't.
It is.
Is it just like skin tight?
Look at.
What?
Oh my God!
That's
it's like
not
yeah.
real.
That's a swimsuit.
That's not real.
That's a horse swimsuit.
I'm gonna put this picture up on the thing.
That's skin tight or
Colin, did you
hair
find
tight.
it?
I was on the Fox 2 Now article.
Yeah,
oh
throw it
no!
Yeah.
Whoa, Nelly!
Is
Okay,
that
this makes more sense.
is that useful? Is that helpful?
That looks like a thunder jacket.
Most
Like for a dog. That looks like my dog. Like July 4th, my dog is shaking and crying in the corner because everyone in my neighborhood is shooting off fireworks, and I put him in a little jacket, and he does nothing, but it makes me feel better. That's a thunder jacket for a horse.
like are horse aerodynamics that much that it does the.
That's wild. That is the
Okay.
funniest thing I think I've ever seen in my life.
I'm gonna list off the team names and the teams. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Were you gonna do that?
I was already, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do that right now because this feels like the right point.
Go for it.
The California Shamrocks,
Uh-huh.
which is mid. The Maryland Colts,
Uh-huh.
which is kind of mean because it used to be the Baltimore Colts, the football team,
Yeah, they're like, you know
and
what?
then they moved.
Right. It'd be like calling us the St. Louis Rams.
And
Like,
it's in Baltimore.
it's
I'm
like,
fairly certain that's owned by Lamar Jackson, the current football team.
that's funny.
the Ravens.
I mean, I'm sure the people of Baltimore were like, yeah.
This
now,
one makes
now
a
my
lot of
football woes are satiated.
This one makes a lot of sense, and I like it. The New York Knights, good one.
Sure.
My
My favorite is New Jersey's.
the logo for the New York Knights is fine. Philadelphia Stallions, it's just awful. Also, the logo just horrible.
What? Why is
Nashville
why,
Dreams looks like Nashville Dreams logo looks like somebody made it in the year 2001. It looks like La Quinta Inn.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Where are you finding these? It's not on their Wikipedia page.
On the NTL website.
Okay.
The New Jersey Racing Club, which
they have a name now.
the New Jersey Racing Club has
It's
a
the
name.
New Jersey D-Gens.
The D-Gens?
Yeah, Degens, D-Gens, like degenerates.
I was gonna say like the Degenerates.
Oh, really?
The Ellen Degenerates.
You know, I'm going to say that is what it is. Because I can't
this
find
is the
any
best
evidence
one.
to
The
the
San
contrary.
Francisco Unicorns.
Yes.
Here's the thing, that one's kind of past. Here's the thing: you got a team called the Colts and a team called the Stallions in the horse racing league. We can't have the MLS be like your soccer team is the Kickin' Boys, or like it's like
I feel like
the
half these
NBA team, the St. Louis Free Throwers. Like you can't have a horse thing be the name of your horse team.
But
that's not how team names work.
But like any good sports, You know what the NTRA, which is what the National Thoroughbred Racing Association, you know what they have, baby?
What I got?
A political action committee.
Yeah.
The horse pack, the Federal Political Action Committee of the National Thoroughbred Racing Association, was activated to support federal elected officials who are interested in issues that affect parimutuel, spelled wrong, horse racing. The donations are not tax deductible. What is that? Understand horse racing issues.
I mean, America's better when it's run by lobbyists.
Our members, not all members, they're members of the Congressional Horse Caucus.
There's nothing funny about that.
There's a Congressional Horse Caucus? Like, not horse racing caucus, not gambling caucus.
Yeah.
Not animal welfare caucus. Congressional Horse Caucus.
Yeah, can you just look down the barrel and say horse caucus?
So on the calendar, it
No.
looks like there's only
about
4 events. It looks like there's only 4 events on the calendar.
I saw more.
So the standings right now are the New York Knights are number 1, the Colts are number 2, the Shamrocks are number 3. Apparently, we're in 4th.
Yeah, the St. Louis Racing Club.
Yeah.
Which is now the St. Louis Nellies.
Yeah. So the Pimlico Cup.
It's Pimlico.
Pimlico Cup, but Pimlico sounds more fun. Was in Baltimore in May. Last month in Bensalem, Pennsylvania. Was last month. Then this month will be here, the Nelly Cup, and then next month will be in Franklin, Kentucky. Hey, that's really close to Bowling Green. My brother lives in Bowling Green. For the
Don't dox your
the
brother.
VIP. Bowling Green's like 75,000 people. It's gonna be fun.
And they're all your
Quit
brothers.
bragging.
What? It's the 3rd largest city in Kentucky.
You're the 3rd largest city in my Tucky.
Also, Franklin, Kentucky.
Barbie Tucky.
Uh,
Everybody says Kentucky. What about Barbie Tucky?
Home to actually quite literally some of the most beautiful horse farms in the world.
You can check out
It's true. It's amazing.
NTL Racing on Instagram, and they're
Not Franklin, Tennessee.
1,800 followers.
Home of the fake wealthy country artists.
The horses.
No, I'm talking about Franklin, Tennessee.
I'm talking about horses.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I transitioned.
I just wish we had cricket.
Phoenix Mustangs, terrible. Miami Thunderbolts, terrible.
Oh, the team names.
Like,
Yeah, they're
just,
bad. They're
like-
mostly bad, except the Nellies and the Unicorns
Yeah.
and the D-Gens.
The D-Gens is quite good.
The D-Gens is great.
Yeah. New York Knights, fine.
It's classic. They're trying to be something they're
Truly-
not.
truly
be
though-
silly.
truly
More
though,
silly.
the
Make sports teams silly for the first time.
Who's calling me? No, somebody tried to call me. We're not going to have that happen.
Cool.
Button. Sorry.
So,
I
the
just found
Dreams, Unicorns, Thunderbolts.
Yeah, no, you read all the team names. There's only 10.
I understand the concept.
Can you count to 10, David?
So right now the Stallions are in last place with 9 points, which is hilarious.
And how are points? Who cares?
It's just through how do we
horse points?
Anyways, this is
It's
do
like
you
NASCAR for horses.
do you want to know the mission of the NTL?
Yeah,
Make money.
to
The
increase
mission of National Thoroughbred League is to deliver the greatest sports and entertainment experience in the world.
Whoa,
I don't think they're gonna reach. I don't think they're gonna do that.
in the world.
First of all, I just love the enthusiasm. We bring joy, energy, and excitement
And
to our
horses.
league of NTL teams. An unnecessary sentence that you didn't have to write in your mission statement.
No, but
Safety
They needed a
of
buffer
horses, jockeys, and all participants is our priority. And innovation, inclusivity, and sustainability are the core drivers of our future growth and value in the horse racing industry. So, they're pretty progressive. Here we go. The NTL values passion, excellence, teamwork, respect and safety, fun and community.
It's just a whole lot of nothing.
Here we go. You ready? NTL strives to create welcoming and fun, and this is for fun and community. This is under values for fun and community. This is amazing. NTL strives to create welcoming and fun events for all fans, participants, and stakeholders.
There it is.
We got to make sure the stakeholders.
This is fun and community.
We got to make sure the
That's within
stakeholders
fun and
are having
community.
fun. It's not just about return on profits. The stakeholders are having fun. There's like a dude in a business suit.
Yeah.
You're
The
like-
league actively engages with local communities and supports initiatives that promote growth and sustainability of the horse racing industry. It's just like, let's get the fun stuff out of the way, but also if you want to invest.
Why do they need
Investment?
mission
Okay, here
and
we go.
value statements?
Are you ready for the competition format?
I'm really not interested.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
We
need
don't
to
talk about it.
No,
I'm over this.
I was just gonna say, these horse people need to check the spelling on their websites.
They really do. Thank you for
Parimutuel
saying
spelled
that.
wrong. I'm now on horsecouncil.org, which is the American Horse Council, your unified voice in Washington. Your being
Everyone,
horses-
whoever's reading this.
apparently the horse went to the hospital and got online because this is,
Sure.
I'm the horse.
I've got
reading
like
this.
7-8 sentences here that can describe what it is, and then let's just
Well, is it a
entirely-
political action committee that a political action committee has the ability to amplify and individual's voice? Like, because that's what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
I'm a horse.
No, this is the structure and the format. The NTL competition. It's an experience unlike anything in horse racing history. Each of our cups is a 5-race competition. All 10 teams enter one athlete from their roster in each race. Athlete meaning horse, with teams accruing points throughout. Like an NFL or NBA game, it's nothing like the NFL or an NBA game.
Horses can't shoot.
The entire
their
competition
thumbs.
takes less than 3 hours. And we throw lots of fun surprises between the races.
Oh man, they're doing we're not baseball, we promise.
Yeah. Races will be run at standard lengths, ranging from 3/4 of a mile,
So it is the Savannah Bananas.
6 furlongs, up to a mile on both dirt and turf.
Yeah, it was like
encompassing
standard
horses
lengths in
of both genders. The point system. Teams compete for 3,000 points. Yeah.
More trans horses.
The
No.
point system. Teams compete for 3,000 points at each of our cups. For the first 4 races,
That's so
the breakdown
many.
is as follows. First place 150, second place 90. How do we follow all this? How do you follow that?
On Instagram.
That's not a thing that you can follow. No one's going to follow your sport.
No, I think you know how you follow it? Like this.
It's not a sport.
This is gonna be great for the audio listeners.
As Colin is just having his eye line go,
In a circle,
across the
yeah.
line and around an oval, like watching horses on a track. Yeah, but David, it's not about the points. It's about promoting fun and community for
your
the-
stakeholders.
For
the
stakeholders. And amplifying and individual's voice.
Did you know they're hiring? They have so many open positions. Oh my gosh.
Cool.
Moving on.
Horses. Whoa, Nelly. Good job. Find out July 19th, I guess. Maybe they'll give us one of those jerseys.
Dude, if you give us a horse jersey, I'm all in.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
David's going to get a tattoo.
I know.
If the Blues win the cup.
Colin and I will be the two halves of the horse jerseys, like in the school play.
Yeah,
Wait, do we do like the
we'll
a costume
produce
where
we'll produce
one of us stands, one of us is the middle, and one of
no,
No,
like
just the two of us.
it's just the two of
two?
us. Yeah,
Okay.
you get the tattoo. You have your own sports thing,
Yeah.
David. And as a here's the if the St. Louis Nellies give us one of those weird horse jerseys,
Yeah.
Bradley and I will not only wear it, we will produce not a full production of, but for vertical video,
Uh-huh.
a number from Into the Woods in which Bradley and I play Milky White
Yes. As the
as the horse.
Should we get a horse in the studio? Should we bring a horse to the studio?
I don't think it could do the stairs.
It's fine. Well, they're gonna
We could get a small horse.
we could get a mini horse. Yeah. Overarching, as always, is brought to you by First Bank. Bradley, St. Louis's most bank. Not only are they the first bank, they're St. Louis's largest local bank, actually. Specifically, we're sponsored by John Charlton. Thank you, Colin. A lender with the First Bank mortgage team. If you or a loved one has ever been affected by house and need to talk to a professional about money for house, John Charlton will be your house money man. John is even my personal house money man. That's right. And I trust him with all of my house money needs. Thank you, John Charlton. Thank you, First Bank Mortgage, for sponsoring the show.
You think I could do like a sign flip thing with this? Like a...
Jesus. Oh, God. So, what else is happening in St. Louis that like we don't need to talk about for 15 minutes?
Oh, you were talking about
length?
before the show. You were talking about some statistics.
What
You
statistics?
were talking about how like crime statistics are down.
Crime's down at the time of recording.
Oh,
Crime's still
I
down.
don't have those pulled up. I didn't say I would have those pulled
Well,
up.
I know
but
that
this
60 people were arrested downtown at, as 5 on your side says,
But this time
4th of
okay.
July disorder downtown.
Yeah, you go.
What 4th of July disorder is that in the DSM-5?
5 this is the DSM 4th. I don't know. That was I started that before I finished it.
Is the DSM-5 out now?
It's been out.
Okay, I know there was a period of time where it was like coming out.
Yeah, coming next summer. More mental illness. It's always coming next summer, baby. 60 people were arrested downtown. This due to disorder. One viewer described the scene as a war zone, while others called it upsetting. 45 of them were kids. That's what happened this at July 4th. 45 kids were arrested downtown. As the state-run police department did post some nice pictures of their very uniform lines of police officers.
Oh, did they
being
really do
deployed.
that? I thought you were gonna be like whenever they do like the pictures of like when they impound firearms or something or drugs, or they like the picture of like them all tagged out. Like,
look at all these
Did they have
guys.
did they have like a bunch of tagged out like sparklers and
No, it was just
popper?
it was a pile of kids. Because that's who they seized. Were
Yeah.
kids.
I have the stats.
Well, I have more stats.
Whenever you're ready.
One kid was taken into custody twice.
I heard about that,
And
actually.
8 people were arrested. Get this. And I quote from the article, 8 people were arrested because of the guns. Because of the guns.
Well, yeah, guns are bad.
Quote, downtown resident said, people need to get their kids. Period. Get your kids. And you know what?
Sure.
That is fair.
Yeah, yeah.
The thing is, I'm not sure if there's a new city ordinance or if it's a state thing. There's been some...
Fireworks have always been illegal in the city.
And county.
Not about fireworks.
Oh.
That parents can be held culpable
Yes.
for this
Yeah.
stuff, which is what happened.
Yeah.
Kids still got arrested,
Yeah.
not the parents. But the parents can be held culpable for the kids' actions. Crime down. Also, get your kids. Get your kids.
Both can be true.
Both, I have 2 wolves that live inside of me, and
Yeah.
one of them is crime down, one of them is get your kids.
If you think St. Louis is getting more dangerous and more dangerous, since 2020, crime keeps going down, man. It just
Tell us those
just over
stats,
and over.
David.
Well,
Tell them what the people want to
Let's
hear.
just talk about year over year, like as most recent years.
Compel
Like
me to vote,
23 to 24, and then 24 to 25.
Yeah.
Just keep it simple. And like before then, it's been going down consistently as well.
No.
I don't believe you. We're talking about. Let's just talk about violent crimes first.
Yeah, violent crime's
Okay.
way up. Way
So
up.
from 20. Let's start at the very top, actually. From 2024 to 2025. This is from the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department.
I lived during that year, yes.
Statistics, okay? From that, there has been a decrease in overall crime, period. Overall, of 11.5%.
Impossible.
From 24 to 25. And from 23 to 25, there has been a decrease of nearly 20%.
Well, David, I live in
Overall
this...
crime, period.
David, stop
Okay?
with this misinformation. I live in the city, and although I haven't seen any crimes, I've heard about them on the KSDK.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, but
and that means crime is not down.
If crime down, why so many people worried about it?
this is true. You raise a valid point.
People people in Chesterfield
Would you
are
like to
worried about
know-
the crime in St. Louis. Therefore, it has to be rampant.
Funny that 5 on Your Side moves from scary downtown to out to Maryland Heights,
Where no crimes happen.
where no crime ever happened.
Because Maryland Heights bought a bunch of police cruisers because they busted a lot of people for weed before it was legalized.
And they spent all that
Their
money on
cops,
police
the
cruisers.
Maryland Heights cops, I hear, can smell weed even if it isn't there.
So they can weed them out.
Weed them out.
Do you want to know the specifics between like violent crime, thefts, car thefts, break-ins, robberies? Okay.
Yeah. Give us the top. I'll play the hits.
Yeah.
For like, this is crazy to me. From 23 to 25, violent crimes have dropped 26%. Okay? Crazy, right? From 23 to 25, theft of cars has dropped 54%.
That is actually crazy.
That's wild.
54%, guys. Okay?
Because the Hyundai and Kia
Car
whole thing
break-ins
is
dropped
real.
21% in the past 2 years. Just
That
and
is
in the
wild.
past year
Honestly-
alone, robberies have dropped 17.5%.
That is wild. So car break-ins and honestly, just car break-ins.
Yeah.
Like robberies take a fair bit of audacity, right?
Yeah,
like
sure.
you need to go up to somebody and be like, "Give me your shit."
Yeah.
And that's like a social interaction. I'm like, that's
Yeah,
weird.
couldn't catch me robbing somebody.
Right, yeah,
I'm too awkward for that.
Yeah, I can't even make a phone call. But
maybe that's maybe is the social anxiety leading us to decrease crime.
yeah, coming next in the DSM-6, anxiety-induced crime reduction. You know what? There it is. We solved it. We did it, guys. The
Make
left
mental
wins
illness work
again.
for you.
But car break-ins being down, that's the statistic that like really gets me jazzed, because
Yeah.
it's like car break-ins typically don't harm anybody. They're just
Yep.
people looking for change. It's
yeah.
people seeing just smashing windows or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
This is the halfway point through the year, by the way.
that's great.
Halfway point year over year.
That is cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that number, by the way, that you're talking about of theft of cars was 2,100 last year versus 1,400 this
Still
year.
a fuck ton of cars, but
700 less.
sure. I mean, considering
Like,
how many cars are in the city, that seems like a lot of cars versus how many cars are in the city. Like I'm gonna assume, that the population number of the city is higher than the amount of cars owned in the city.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's like more than one car per family, but not more than one car per person. There can't be. I'm gonna jump off a bridge.
Sure.
If that is the,
Sure,
if
sure,
there's more than one car per
there
person.
might be, Colin.
No,
It's
impossible.
got to be close to it.
No,
Either way.
people do in fact ride the bus.
yeah, but you're forgetting about the people that own multiple cars.
Their family owns multiple cars.
People own multiple cars.
Correct.
Colin.
I know single people own multiple cars. How many people in the city do you think own multiple cars that live by themselves?
Here's the thing, though, Colin. I know 3 different individuals that
You're
have...
rich, David.
No, I'm not. I know 3 different individuals that own double-digit cars.
I don't think they're bringing up the average
Which
for
would-
everybody that much.
From
But it does
2000,
bring
from
it up.
2011 and beyond.
But here's the reason. That one person only owns 0 cars. So it only brings it down a little bit. But that one person that owns 10 brings it up tenfold.
At any rate, unless we're going to
saying.
find the actual number,
Yeah,
I
well-
think for the purposes of this conversation, it's reasonable to assume a 1-to-1 vehicle about-ish or
Sure.
slightly less than.
Sure.
yeah,
Either way,
if we're
if you think...
if we're assuming, roughly 280,000 cars owned in the city, which is,
I mean, 'cause, like,
it feels like a crazy number to say
Well,
out loud.
here's the other question: is like, are we talking about cars per? Because like per population, you also got to think about people who are not of driving age. Because like people who are not of driving age are counted in the census.
Right.
Children are people.
Union was the all-time poll.
What?
Just said, sounds like we need to steal more cars then.
Yeah, obviously. This is a
That's
really
top-notch
difficult number
joke.
to find. Anyway,
Top-notch joke.
1,400 cars seems like a lot of cars. I do in fact know 2 people who got their cars stolen that were Hyundais, one Hyundai, one Kia, And here's my thing. Because insurance is a scam.
Sure.
And doesn't cover anything but wrecking your car. Car thieves. Here's a message to all the car thieves that listen to our show.
Yeah.
Which this is a show about the city of St. Louis.
Yes.
So according to everybody else who doesn't live here, our show is exclusively listened to by car thieves. So, car thieves. Here's a message for you. If you're going to steal a car, have the courtesy to wreck it.
Yeah, like total
it completely in a public place
Yeah.
that people can find it, that the owner specifically can find it. Because then, if you're out there thinking it's a victimless crime to steal a car, it isn't. It is a victimless crime to steal a car and then wreck it. Do that. Don't kill anybody while you do it.
I mean, also don't steal the cars, because even if you get made whole by your settlement from the insurance company, it still sucks to be out, your transportation, and then just the psychological issue of having that done, and then also buying a car is a pain in the ass, and so also just stop stealing cars.
Yeah, well, maybe if we had a public transportation network.
Well, there is only one of us in here that owns 2 cars.
Yeah, but one's for fun.
What?
Wow. Plot twist. Bradley's the rich one.
Yeah, I'm wealthy.
Yeah, and you should, honestly, Bradley's 2 cars that he owns together are maybe one complete car.
That's about right. Yeah.
And also, honestly, the 2 cars I own together are certainly together worth less than either one of your vehicles. Potentially worth less than, I was going to say both of them combined, but
that's not how that works.
But I would say potentially worth less than half of one of your vehicles.
Yeah,
it's all right,
the vehicle that I became the proud owner of yesterday, I do now officially own a car. Even though I'm still...
Did you join us?
Did they give you a carabiner to go with it?
Did you join us lesbians?
Yeah, I got to start liking girls now.
Yes.
Sub family, but I still don't drive it, for the record. I don't own, my family still owns 1 car, which means my wife drives it 95% of the time. So I'm still on that bus, baby.
She's going to get hit on a lot more.
You know what? More power to her.
Yeah.
But
I found out that there's a lot. It's Subarus aren't really much the gay car anymore.
They are.
As much as they were. There's a lot.
I gotta tell you, David.
There's a lot of friends that are telling me the Kia Soul.
David. Here's the thing.
You brought it up earlier, and
straights have been appropriating gay culture for a long enough time that there are more straight people buying Subarus because we're appropriating their culture.
Yeah. So you know what? To lesbians out there, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for purchasing a Subaru. I'm sorry for colonizing your thing. Before we wrap this up today, we wanted to talk about development. David, there's a lot of new development happening, a lot of new buildings happening.
Yeesh.
Which new building is the gayest?
Which new building is the gayest building?
Non-derogatory, of course. That was for me.
I'm gonna say the new AHM Timber Tower.
Because it's made of wood, David.
It's made of wood.
Because it's made of wood.
Yeah.
Nice. Which
And you know what? When you build a building out of wood, you have to erect wood.
I thought I had a good transition.
No. But here's
that was good.
I don't know why. I don't know why I thought this was going to go anywhere else for David.
Here's my other question: which building?
You asked which one was the gayest. I gave you a pretty good answer.
David, I want to know which new development is going to cost the taxpayers the most money.
All of them, but the one that will cost the taxpayers the most money, unequivocally will be the Cordish Millennium Hotel redevelopment.
Yeah, but like downtown development worth it.
$72 million of tax abatement over the course of 20 years is being earmarked. Was approved initially, has to be approved through a second round, and then has to have building permits pulled, and then, all that stuff will go. I think it will be passed. I think this will go through because Kara Spencer and the newly elected Ward Alderman of Ward 8
Jamie Cox Antwi.
Antwi. Are very business friendly and got donations out the wazoo from those in power in business in St. Louis. I'm not saying that they are puppets to those puppet masters.
But some are saying that?
But there are a bunch of people around St. Louis that are really upset about all this money being earmarked and taken away from public schools that would otherwise be used for education. And mind you, we're not getting any education money from the state anymore. And we're talking about that. Development in St. Louis is necessary, especially on that Millennium Hotel site. When people come to St. Louis, they are going to see that building, and they are going to see that as a sign of progress. And I am okay with that. I don't know if I'm okay with $72 million of abatement. I'm okay with some.
How long
abatement.
does it last?
20 years.
Ugh. Is it 100% abatement for 20 years, or is it
95% abatement?
So they have to pay like 5%.
It is also incremented.
But is the $72 million like a total estimate or
It's
total cap?
It's a total number that is the actual number.
And
that is the actual number.
Do they pay more taxes over time?
And they will pay full taxes after 20 years.
So we'll finally be able to have good public schools in 20 years?
30 years.
Yeah, because everybody says you get a tax abatement, and you get a tax abatement, and you get a tax abatement.
But also the Albion is getting tax abatements, right?
That's how we build in America now.
But the tax abatements, those tax abatements around Central West End is a little bit different because I don't know.
The property values and the property taxes there are already so high.
Yes.
And so here's the thing too, is
also it's like
property
a vacant
taxes
lot
for
to begin
residential properties.
Yeah.
Are the things that matter for public schools.
True.
The reason that the Cordish group thing is so, I don't want to call it insidious because it's not atypical, right?
Sure.
It's kind of normal for that sort of thing, is that it's going to be a very large residence.
Yes.
That we're probably, if it got filled up with people who actually live in the city and not just a bunch of Airbnbs.
And same with the AHM Timber Tower 314.
Right. We're probably going to have to build a new elementary school downtown.
We would likely need to, especially Jefferson Arms is
going in. That's going to be residences too.
The chemical building.
If it works out the way they want it to work out, and
there's a lot more infill.
As we know,
Ballpark Village Phase 3, hopefully
downtown is already and has been for a while. Believe it or not, the fastest growing neighborhood in St. Louis.
Oh my gosh, it's easily
by a lot
the fastest growing city,
and
residence wise,
and because there's more residences closer together. That's it's an obvious thing when you think about it for more than a couple seconds, but this is going to add an order of magnitude more residences to places downtown. Anybody who's played City Skylines knows.
Yeah.
Elementary schools don't have a lot of room. They run out pretty fast because the student to teacher ratio is much lower. So it's we're going to have to not only fund the schools we have, but we've been closing schools at such a clip. We're going to have to build some more.
But the argument is that no families want to live downtown.
Well, and that's the thing is how do we get people to stay downtown as they're growing their families?
Yeah. Build a school. Build some park space. Oh, wait, we have National Park downtown.
I think we got plenty of park space downtown.
We sure do.
Have plenty of parking space downtown. And the other thing with tax abatement, these are infill projects, a lot of them, and the Cordish one is a vacant lot. So it's what kind of taxes are being paid on those?
It will be a vacant lot when they knock down the Millennium Hotel.
Well, yeah, but what kind of taxes are being paid on the lots anyways?
Sure,
it's not a ton.
Are they?
There's some ones that are parking lots, barely any. But there's a few in downtown West that are going north, the 314 on Locust. There's another one that's going just a block north of the stadium.
It's good that it's happening.
There's thousands of apartments and condos being built downtown and will be built downtown.
The thing is, though, the people who live there pay taxes.
Yeah.
So those taxes are not abated.
Correct.
So it's a gamble.
Yes.
I hope it pays off for Kara.
Yeah.
And
It very well likely will pay off for Kara. Shiny things and new things that get filled quickly, like people are going to move into them initially, and it's hopefully it won't go the way of the mall,
shiny private
downtown
projects
of the downtown mall. Right, 5 years in, it was like 3 years in, it was like, whoa, this place is amazing. But like 5-6 years in, it started going downhill.
You're talking about St. Louis,
the mall downtown,
like the MX. It's now the MX.
Yes, yeah, and it was seen as this bastion of. It was the biggest indoor shopping center in America in a city center,
and now,
yeah,
grocery store, cool ass movie theater, best Thai restaurant in the city.
Yes, best Thai restaurant. Yeah.
And a YMCA.
And a YMCA.
Yeah, on the back end.
But I am
Colin over here talking about a YMCA on the back end. Anyway,
I am hopeful that these things do get built.
That's the gayest one.
I really hope that these abatements work. I am not in favor of the amount.
No.
But I'm in favor of some.
Kara Spencer, 2028. Public projects good. Sorry, my bad. Roll that back.
Private projects.
Kara Spencer, 2028. Private projects. Look, I did it.
Yeah.
Public projects. No. Streetcar bad. Streetcar pause.
Well, we're going to tout
yeah.
we're going to tout the Brickline Greenway. We're going to tout the Tower Grove Connector. She is going to do a lot of good things for bike transit.
Oh, yeah, she meaning the things that have been in the works.
Yeah, things that are already happening.
Yeah.
She's
Thank you for going where I was going.
She's sharing those on Instagram, saying, "Look at all these great things happening."
And this was my whole argument
that
to begin with.
Lida started.
The Green Line could have been that also.
Yeah,
right.
Could have been
the
that
money
also.
we've already been paying it, and it just anyway. Speaking of, just to wrap things up, the last little plug. Speaking of the mall, the downtown mall / the MX. Do you guys know what used to be right there? Like where that building is?
Probably
what do you
horses.
Nope. The home of Madam Eliza Haycraft, the richest and most powerful woman in the city of St. Louis in 1870, who had to fight off the men of St. Louis in the last year of her life, trying to pass a law that would take her rights away, as well as those of all her girls. Madam, the musical, going up July 25th, produced by me and Bradley and some other cool people, and Fly North Theatricals, and you should come see it. It's a St. Louis story, and it's cool. And her house really did used to be there. It was between 5th and 6th on St. Charles Avenue, which doesn't exist right there anymore because it's the MX. Because
That's right.
Goes right through the building.
Yeah.
Can I say this is like somebody who is not you? So Colin and Bradley. Colin wrote this. Bradley is directing.
No.
Nope.
Sam Hayes is directing.
Stage.
I'm
He's doing a lot of
producer.
things.
So Sam Hayes.
Sam Hayes is directing.
the show.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. I didn't know that. Why did I not know that?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, it's just not involved as
you're good.
you guys. Anyways, if these two get involved with anything related to St. Louis history and it has musical endeavors behind it, this one in particular might be the most interesting story to St. Louisans. If you want to go support St. Louis arts and learn more about St. Louis history and laugh your fucking ass off all in the same evening, this is going to be an incredible musical. I like the talent on this stage, the talent that Colin has given to the script and the music. I don't think you realize the power of the people sitting next to me that they have in this. If these guys were in New York, there are certainly some people that can compete with them, but these guys are on par with the talent that is there. And you have it in St. Louis. I mean that. So go see this show. Like really, truly, truly, go see this show.
We're plugging it because it's our thing, but I truly believe it's great. And I mean, like, hey, buy a ticket, prove us wrong.
Yeah, Lynn, Manuel, you were here earlier.
Yeah, I wrote it.
Yeah, Colin wrote it.
That's all our New York listener. Help me find an agent because we want it to go cool places.
Yeah,
it's gonna go cool places if it gets.
I like it. I think it's good.
It's an amazing story.
I'm into it. It's like, don't get me wrong. it is this story about like a real thing that happened in St. Louis with the Social Evils Act, legalized prostitution for 4 years in St. Louis, but it was kind of at the cost of the rights of the girls. And this is a historical speculation that takes a real life person, Eliza Haycraft, in the last year of her life, which is when this law passed, and imagines what that year must have been like for her. And hijinks ensue. It's still a musical. I felt like this with Big Machine. I was like, it's lead poisoning, but it's a musical. I promise. Yeah. It's fun. It's a fun show. Yeah. Go pour one out for the homie. Buried at Bell Fountain Cemetery in an unmarked grave to this day. Was buried at the back of the cemetery too, when the entrance used to be on Broadway, but now that it's on the other one, Florissant, West Florissant, she's at the front. But go visit her, pour some brandy out for the homie, Eliza Haycraft, or just go throw some brandy at the MX. Don't break a window. Just dump just a little on the building. And
opening July 25th. Tickets on sale now. greenfinchstl.com/tickets. See you there.
Overarching, that's the name of our show, with fart in it, is recorded at Fly North Theatricals here in sunny South City, St. Wogie. Our producer is Unia Gilbert. Logo design by J.P. Burks, a.k.a. Scrub. I was pointing at the big thing up on the wall. It's not in the shot, not the jersey. Follow us on social media at Overarching St. Louis. And if you're not watching this on YouTube, you should. And if you are, abate that subscribe button and fund that like button
for the next
20 years.
Yes.
I'm Colin.
I'm David.
And I'm Bradley.
And I'm Colin. And this was Overarching.